Hey, welcome back. So today we're diving into the whole world of manifestation, but we're going to look at it from a different angle, one that kind of challenges the idea that creating your reality has to be this super hard grind. What if there's a simpler, way more powerful way to do it? Let's get into it. Let me ask you this. Have you ever tried to manifest something, you followed all the rules, and you just felt totally exhausted? Like you're trying to push a giant boulder uphill with just your mind? Well, if you've ever felt drained by the sheer effort of thinking your desires into existence, you are definitely not alone. And it turns out that very feeling of effort might just be the thing that's holding you back. So, to really get the solution, we first have to talk about the problem. And that brings us to our first section, the problem with visualizing. We're going to call this the old way. That path of intense mental effort that leaves so many of us feeling completely stuck. I bet this looks pretty familiar. I mean, the old way demands this constant mental focus, right? Forcing us to build these super detailed pictures in our minds. It's a total workout for your brain. But the real kicker is the frustration that hits you when reality doesn't perfectly match that mental blueprint you worked so hard on. It's basically a perfect recipe for burnout. It's that feeling of exhaustion that leads us to this really fundamental shift in perspective. So in section 2, we're going to explore the difference between thinking versus feeling. And this right here is the absolute core of what we're talking about today, moving from a purely mental game to something much, much deeper. This new approach can pretty much be summed up in one powerful line. Create with feeling, not with thought. It sounds simple, I know, but this idea changes everything. The source material we're digging into here suggests that the real creative power isn't in how sharp your mental image is, but in the actual depth of your emotional state. And you can really see the difference here. On the left, you've got the old way, planning every detail, visualizing, trying to literally think something into being. It's all push, push, push. But now look at the right side, this new way of felt intent. It's all about sensing, embodying, and just being. See, the focus isn't on some future outcome. It's about generating the feeling of that outcome in your body right here, right now. So, why does this shift from thinking to feeling actually work so well? Well, that brings us right to section 3, where we're going to unveil the core principle behind all this, the power of fulfillment. Okay, so now we get to a really crucial, almost counterintuitive point. It is not about the details. Just let that sink in for a second. I mean, think about all the time we spend agonizing over the exact color of the car, the specific address of the house, the precise numbers in our bank account. This new perspective suggests that all of that effort might be completely missing the point. And this right here, this is the absolute key from our source material. Energies reflect your deepest sense of fulfillment. You see, the universe or reality or whatever you want to call it isn't responding to your mental checklist. It's responding to your state of being, to your energetic signature. When you feel fulfilled, you start attracting circumstances that just naturally match that feeling. And this is what we call felt intent. It's not just some passing emotion. It's a genuine state of being. It is the real, embodied feeling that your desire is already a done deal. But, and this part is critical, without being attached to exactly how it's going to look or when it's going to show up. You're focused on the essence of the desire, the feeling of it, not the nitty-gritty form. So what happens when you really adopt this approach? What's the practical result? Well, that's what we'll cover in section 4, effortless creation. And trust me, this is where the magic really starts to happen. This is the ultimate payoff. When you truly embody that feeling of fulfillment, you let go of the need to control the whole process. You stop trying to micromanage the universe. And the how, the when, the where, all of those details start to fall into place on their own, often in ways that are way better than you ever could have planned. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But how do we actually do it? Let's get practical. Section 5, embody your intention. This is a simple practice you can start using literally today. It really just comes down to 3 simple steps. First, clarify your intention. But that means knowing what you want to feel, not just what you want to get. Are you looking for freedom, joy, security? Get clear on that feeling. Second, embody it. Actually generate that feeling of fulfillment in your body right now. And finally, and this is probably the hardest part for most of us, you have to release the details. You have to detach from the how, when, or where, and just trust that the feeling you're broadcasting is the only signal that really matters. So let's just end with this question. Instead of asking yourself what you want to achieve or what you want to get, ask yourself this: what feeling will you embody today? Because according to this way of looking at things, your state of being isn't the result of your manifestation, it's the cause.